Caitlin Clark was the most fouled rookie in WNBA history. Veteran players targeted her like she stole something from them. She realized quickly that college fame meant nothing here. They wanted to break her. But instead of breaking, she did something that shocked everyone. She completely transformed her body. And when the world saw the results, they couldn't believe their eyes. This is the brutal story they don't want you to know. She was born on January 22, 2002, in Des Moines, Iowa. Her name was Caitlin Elizabeth Clark. She was the middle child in a family of 3 siblings. That position right between an older brother and a younger one would shape everything about her. From the very beginning, life was a competition. At home in West Des Moines, she was always fighting to keep up, to win, to prove something. Her parents, Brent and Ann, had no idea the girl bouncing a basketball around the house would one day rewrite the sport's history. Caitlin's dad had played basketball and baseball in college. Her grandfather coached football. Sports ran in the bloodline. But Caitlin wasn't just athletic. She was obsessed with winning. Even at age 5, she could dribble like she had been doing it for years. It didn't matter if it was a school project or a board game. She wanted to win always. That fire never cooled down, and sometimes it got out of control. She once threw her brother into a wall during a fight. His head split open. Their mom had to break up so many battles like that. She wasn't just good at basketball. In fact, at first, basketball wasn't even the main thing. She scored 26 goals in just 6 soccer games during high school. Her coach believed she could have gone Division I in soccer. She also played volleyball, tennis, softball, and golf, and she played piano. Caitlin could have done anything, but basketball called louder than everything else. There wasn't a girls' league for her age when she started, so her dad put her in boys' leagues. She had to fight just to be on the court. That made her tougher. By 6th grade, she had joined the All-Iowa Attack AAU team in Ames. That changed everything. She was only 13, but already playing against older girls. One coach remembered her hitting a step-back 3 and then throwing a pass that went untouched, but perfectly aimed. That same coach said most kids would go for ice cream after a win. Caitlin didn't care about that. She just wanted to play harder and win more. That was the moment everything started. By the time she was a junior at Dowling Catholic High School, she shocked everyone. On February 4, 2019, Caitlin scored 60 points in a single game. She dropped 25 in the first quarter alone and hit 13 three-pointers. That was the most in Iowa history. Even the student section of the other team lined up for autographs afterward. She finished her junior year as the state's top scorer. And the next year, she did it again. As a senior, she averaged 33.4
points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and nearly 3 steals per game. Her total career points reached 2,547, 4th all-time in Iowa. She also broke the record for most three-pointers made. On February 25, 2019, she scored 42 points in a triple overtime win during the state tournament. She led Dowling Catholic to a 19-4 record that season. She was named Miss Iowa Basketball, Gatorade Player of the Year, and All-Iowa Athlete of the Year. Her basketball career, at that point, was already legendary. Then came November 25, 2020. The stands were nearly empty. COVID had kept the fans away, but it couldn't keep the spotlight from finding an 18-year-old freshman named Caitlin Clark. That night inside Iowa's Carver Hawkeye Arena, something unforgettable happened. Caitlin dropped 27 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, handed out 4 assists, and shot 58% from the field. She took over the game from the very first possession. It was her debut, but she was already the best player on the floor. Even her defense made a statement. 3 steals showed she could disrupt plays just as easily as she could make them. Her teammates that night, Gabby Marshall, Kate Martin, McKenna Wero, Monica Chinano, would go on to share a national title run with her years later. But on that first night, it was clear Caitlin Clark was the future of Iowa basketball. Just 4 weeks later, she did something even rarer. On December 22nd, in a game against Western Illinois, she recorded her first career triple-double. She scored 13 points, grabbed 13 rebounds, and dished out 10 assists. And she did it on a bad shooting night, just 3 of 15 from the field. But instead of giving up, she adjusted. She focused on playmaking. Her final assist, the one that completed the triple-double, came from a sharp pass to Logan Cook inside the paint. This kind of performance hadn't been seen at Iowa since 2015 when Samantha Logic last pulled off a triple-double. Coach Lisa Blutta knew what she was seeing was rare. She called triple-doubles special and said they don't happen very often. Yet, Caitlin made it happen in her first month of college basketball. When asked about it, Caitlin said something even more impressive than her stats. "I wasn't shooting the ball well, so I just tried to get other people going." That's not a freshman mindset. That's a leader. Then came February 11th. Caitlin walked into Nebraska's home arena and left with the building's single-game scoring record. She put up 39 points with 10 rebounds and 7 assists. She shot 12 of 18 from the floor. She was perfect from the free throw line. She did it all. She torched Nebraska from every angle. And by the end of the game, she had passed 600 points on the season. Only 4 other Iowa players in history had done that. But this wasn't just one hot night. Caitlin was leading the entire nation in scoring, and she was still just a freshman. No one in Division I had ever done that before. Not a single freshman, man or woman. She was averaging 29.8 points before the Nebraska game. She wasn't just on fire, she was the fire. By the end of the season, she had rewritten the record books. She finished with 799 total points across 30 games. That's 26.6 points per game. No freshman had ever scored more in a single season. Not just at Iowa, in the entire country. She led all of Division I in scoring. She led in total points, in points per game, in field goals made, in three-pointers made, and she was second in assists per game. She wasn't just shooting threes, she was making them at a historic rate. She hit 116 threes in 30 games. That's nearly 4 per game. That had never been done by a freshman. She had 12 games with at least 30 points. That hadn't happened since 2000. She also broke Iowa's freshman scoring record and finished with the third highest single-season point total in program history. Only Megan Gustafson had scored more. And that was during her final years, not her first. She didn't just win Big Ten Freshman of the Year. She dominated the award circuit. She won 23 Big Ten honors during the season. 13 times she was named Freshman of the Week. 5 times she was named Player of the Week, the first freshman in history to do that. She made the All-Big Ten first team, and not by accident. She was a unanimous pick by both coaches and the media. Nationally, she shared the Freshman of the Year award with UConn's Paige Buchers. That made her the first Hawkeye ever to be named National Freshman of the Year. She averaged 27.7 points and 6.6 assists per game in Big Ten play. She scored 30 or more in 9 conference games. And in 8 more, she scored over 20. Her play didn't just earn headlines, it pulled Iowa back into national contention. The team reached the Big Ten tournament final and
advanced to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. It was their 8th Sweet 16 appearance ever and their 3rd in 4 years. In 2021, during her sophomore year, Caitlin Clark did something that no one in Division I women's basketball had ever done before. She led the entire country in both scoring and assists. She averaged 27 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds per game. Most players can't even lead in one category. Clark led in 2 at the same time. That kind of balance was unheard of. Scorers were supposed to score. Passers were supposed to pass. But Caitlin Clark ignored those rules. She did everything. What really shocked people wasn't just how many points she scored. It was how many assists she had while doing it. 8 assists per game while leading in scoring. That broke every old idea about basketball roles. Defenders focused everything on her. Double teams, triple teams, didn't matter. She still threaded impossible passes, found teammates wide open, and set them up like it was nothing. Sometimes her passing was even more impressive than her scoring. She played like she had eyes in the back of her head. She made defenses guess, and they always guessed wrong. As her stats climbed, so did the pressure. Other teams knew they couldn't stop her with normal defense, so they got physical. They shoved her, bumped her, pulled on her jersey. Some defenders pushed the limits of what was even legal. Coaches designed entire game plans just to wear her down. Possession after possession, shot after shot. And yet, she kept going. Every time they tried to knock her down, she came back harder. It wasn't just skill anymore. It was grit. She had mental toughness they couldn't break. And, as all this was happening, something bigger started to build. Suddenly, people all over the country were watching Iowa basketball. Not just local fans, not just Big Ten supporters, everyone. TV ratings went up. News crews started flying in. Games sold out. She didn't just lift her team, she lifted the whole sport. People tuned in because they wanted to see what she'd do next. And what she did never disappointed. By 2023, everything exploded. Iowa hadn't made the Final Four since 1993. That changed on March 26th, when Caitlin Clark ended a 30-year drought. She didn't just lead, she dominated. She scored 191 points in the tournament. That's not a typo. 191. She averaged over 30 a game. And it wasn't just her. Her teammates, McKenna Warrow, Monica, they all stepped up. Clark brought out the best in everyone. And when she made it to the Final Four, she wasn't done yet. Against Louisville in the Elite Eight, she dropped a 41-point triple-double. 41 points, 12 assists, 10 rebounds. That had never been done before, not in men's or women's NCAA history. It was her 11th triple-double. But this one felt different. She hit deep threes. She drove through crowds. She passed like a magician. She made it look easy. Even when triple-teamed, she found ways to dominate. The stat that really stuck: she scored or assisted on 70 of Iowa's 97 points. And then came South Carolina, the defending champs, undefeated, 36-0. No one expected them to lose. But on March 31st, Clark shocked the world again. Another 41 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. She scored or assisted on every single point in the fourth quarter. That game flipped the whole season upside down. South Carolina hadn't lost in 42 games. And then Clark happened. Her logo threes, her sharp cuts, her confidence. It left even the best defense in the country scrambling. On April 2nd, 2023, Caitlin Clark stood just one game away from everything she had dreamed of since she was a child. The national championship, the ultimate prize. But what should have been the crowning moment of her legendary college career ended in heartbreak. Iowa lost to LSU 102-85. On paper, it looked like an easy win for LSU, but the truth was much harder to accept. Clark had fought through everything to get her team there. Just days before, she dropped back-to-back 41-point games to carry Iowa to the title game. In that final match, she hit 8 three-pointers, breaking a championship record set in 1990. She scored 30 points, and it still wasn't enough. As the buzzer sounded, the look on her face said it all. She had done everything she could, but her dreams slipped away. Then came her senior year. If anyone thought that loss would slow her down, they were wrong. February 15, 2024, was the night everything changed. Iowa faced Michigan, and Clark needed just 8 points to pass Kelsey Plum's all-time NCAA scoring record of 3,527. 2 minutes into the game, she hit a deep three from a logo. The crowd went wild. That shot made her the highest scorer in NCAA women's history. But she didn't stop there. She dropped 49 points, the most ever in a game for Iowa. She also added 13 assists and 5 rebounds. She did it all in her 126th game, faster than Plum's 139. That night, she hit 3,569 total points. She was now a legend. But she wasn't finished. On March 3, 2024, in a packed arena against Ohio State, Clark chased a record that had stood for 54 years. Pete Maravich had scored 3,667 points, the most in Division I history. Clark needed 17 more to pass him. Tickets were averaging $598. The entire country was watching. Late in the first half, she hit a free throw. That single point made her the top scorer in NCAA basketball history, men's or women's. She barely reacted. She didn't even realize what she had done until the crowd erupted. By the end of the game, she had scored 35 points. It was official. Pete's record was gone. Caitlin Clark now stood alone at the top. But what happened off the court might be just as unforgettable. Fox Sports launched something that had never been done before. They created a live camera feed focused only on her called the Caitlin Cam. It streamed on TikTok and followed her every move on offense. This wasn't just sports. It was a cultural moment. Her games sold out across the country. TV ratings broke records. People who had never watched a women's game before were suddenly hooked. Deep threes, quick passes, that fierce glare. She was magnetic. She wasn't just playing basketball. She was changing it. And just when it seemed she had done it all, she did something no one in history had ever done. In the Big Ten tournament final against Ohio State, she had what might be her most dominant performance. 30 points, 17 assists, 10 rebounds, a triple-double in the title game. The first ever in the history of the Big Ten championship. And this wasn't just any triple-double. No other player, man or woman, had reached 30 points and 15 assists in a single game over the last 20 years. She did it with style, hitting 5 threes and shooting over 52% from the field. It was a masterclass, her 10th career triple-double. Only one woman in history had more. With all eyes now on her, she returned to the NCAA tournament. Everyone knew what was at stake. Iowa had never won a women's national title. Clark had come so close the year before. This was her last chance. She carried that weight into every game. And then, the rematch everyone wanted happened. Iowa faced UConn in the Final Four. For the first 30 minutes, UConn locked her down. But in the fourth quarter, with the game tied, Clark took over. 7 points in 2.5 minutes. Iowa won 71-69. She scored 21. Her teammate Hannah Stolka added 23. It was one of the best college games ever played. That win put Iowa back in the national championship. On April 15, 2024, Caitlin Clark was picked first overall by the Indiana Fever. It wasn't surprising. Everyone saw it coming. But the impact was something no one could have predicted. She had already become the all-time leading scorer in NCAA Division I history. She had broken records for both points and assists in a single season. Yet once she joined the WNBA, the pressure only grew. The hype around her exploded. She got more than 700,000 All-Star votes during her rookie season, the most ever. Her jersey became the best-selling in the league, with sales up over 1,000%. Wherever she played, the crowds followed. Attendance jumped 88% in games she appeared in. They called it the Caitlin Clark effect. The league had never seen anything like it, but the spotlight came with a cost.